Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mystery Theory. Today, another soft spoken video that covers a case requested by you. If you're new to the channel and enjoy ASMR combined with true crime, welcome. I hope you subscribe. And for those of you that been here for a while, thank you. Welcome back. And to everyone, please don't forget to like the video and leave a comment, whatever you want to share. Say hi, leave an emoji, or share your opinion. I am gonna say from the get-go that I have a naughty 1-month-old baby goat in what I call a humbling pen. He's fine, he can see his mom, but if you're naughty and proud, you end up in the humbling pen for a day or two until you realize you're being naughty. So please ignore him when his mom walks away. He starts screaming for her to get near him. So hopefully she will sit by him and we won't be interrupted. As always, the birds are my friends, so you'll hear them too. Now, this is a story that you guys requested, and I think you guys requested it because you know how much this kind of injustice really pisses me off. Is there any other way of saying that? I don't think so. Well, let me close the window. Hold on. Now, I don't think I've been as upset with a case recently. I remember the couple, if you remember, the guy that was part of Power Rangers that took this couple he was buying a yacht from and threw them in the ocean alive, tied to something. I don't think I've been as upset as, when I cover that other case. And maybe this is the kind of case that speaks volumes of how messed up people can be and how it makes it easier for somebody to really not be able to trust anybody. So today we're covering Regie and Carol's story. This was quite the love story. It was the kind of romance that you find in a novel. I assure you, there's no airport nearby. What is happening when I'm telling you? Anyways, the love was like those novels where they meet in high school, they love each other, but destiny pulls them apart. They do their own thing, but then in the end, they get reunited and live happily ever after. Well, why can't I be okay with that? Well, because of a disturbed person. But let me not get ahead of myself. Reggie and Carol met and dated pretty seriously in high school back in the late 50s. After graduation, Reggie joined the Navy and Carol moved on with her life. Soon after, she met somebody, and later on, they got married. But Carol quickly realized she made a big mistake. Her husband was abusive, and after putting up with his abuse for years, she decided to end the marriage. Now, Reggie and Carol had a lifetime apart. And by a lifetime, I mean 40 years. He, 40 years later, was ending his career with the railroad, and he was struggling with his health. After reuniting, the couple was so excited and felt like it was destined for them to be together. So Reggie proposed and Carol accepted. They bought a home on a quiet suburban street in Charleston, North Carolina. Despite being an older couple, for some that means, keeping to yourself, but for them was more like, let's meet the entire neighborhood, let's make friends, let's help people. They were a happy couple. In the neighborhood, they met Tiffany. Tiffany was the girl to look up to. She was a high school cheerleader. She played the flute. And she was doing something very noble. She was taking care of her sick dad, and gladly, no complaints. So Reggie and Carol would visit Tiffany and her dad. They would bring dinner over. They would have long talks. And despite Tiffany being a teenager, she was really mature. Soon after she graduated, and she was looking for a car. She mentioned needing something very reliable, and the Sumners, Regie and Carol, had a Chevy Lumina that was in great condition and offered it to Tiffany, saying that they were gonna discount it for her and that she could make payments. They really wanted to help this girl that was such a good daughter. Now, Reggie's health was deteriorating, and the doctor suggested moving somewhere warmer. And the couple decided to move to Jacksonville, Florida. They told Tiffany that this is what they were doing, and they agreed that Tiffany would pay them for the car by making a bank deposit. However, Tiffany was welcome to go visit whenever she wanted. So Tiffany, instead of making payments by depositing into the couple's account, she would go every month to take the payment and stay for a few days. Fast forward to the mid 2000s. Tiffany had changed a lot. She made new friends that were very into drinking, partying, and doing drugs. In order to afford this partying, alcohol, and drugs, she was committing some petty crimes. Tiffany, in the year 2005, met Michael Jackson. But listen, not the Michael Jackson. This one was not famous. He was a lowlife who enjoyed the same party lifestyle she was living. So when it came the time of the month to go pay the couple, Tiffany invited Michael to go with her. The Sumners, Regie and Carol, were really nice to Michael. But instead of being appreciative of this, he started noticing the valuables in the house, like an extensive coin collection, a computer, even jewelry. In one of the chats they were having, they talked about selling the Charleston home And Tiffany asked how it went, and Reggie said something like, "Oh, I'd say that it was a solid investment." Apparently, the couple made $100,000 of profit. So at this point, Michael and Tiffany left, and while driving, Michael says something like, "We should rob them. They are too old. What are they gonna do to us?" Now, if you're anything like me, you probably are thinking that Tiffany said, "No way, they are off limits. They're like my grandparents. They've helped me." But no, she said, "What do you have in mind?" So Michael shares his idea. He was going to recruit 2 of his druggy friends, abduct the Sumners, ask for their pins, take all the money from the bank, go to the house, and steal everything. And to finish this off, they were going to have to kill them. So the 3 stooges who were not funny were Michael, Wade, and Nixon. Wade and Nixon are their last names. I forgot to write their first name. But they got together and they drove over the Florida state line into Georgia and dug the couple's graves. When I read this, it reminded me of, if you ever watch the show Yellowstone, they drove to the border with Wyoming and they would kill people and throw them over this, I don't know, cliff, I guess. So I don't know, but it's with state lines and the borders. But in this case, on a hot summer night in July, still in the year 2005, the old couple was sitting down for dinner when they hear a knock at their door. So, one of the 3 geniuses was outside, Wade. Now, Wade was so smart that he came with my car broke down and I don't have my phone. Can I use yours? Now, despite this being a very used line for getting into a house, Carol let him in. He then pulled out a gun and pointed to her head. This was a toy gun that looked very real. Then Nixon, the other genius, entered and helped tie and gag the couple. Then they dragged them to the garage and put them inside their car's trunk. the couple's trunk car. You know what I mean. It was the couple's car. So they left, but Michael was on a rented car following them with who else but Tiffany. They were heading to the graveside in Georgia. The drive was 35 minutes, and by the time they arrived, the couple had managed to free their hands. With bad health and rage, they just couldn't do much to escape these criminals. So they spent the 35 minutes hugging and praying. When they got there, they were asked for pins for the ATM. They put them inside the graves, and because they were lazy and stupid, okay, that was my editorial add to the story, but so they didn't have to drag their bodies, they set them inside the grave. And after Reggie gave them his PIN numbers, instead of shooting them, they were so pathetic that they didn't have a real gun. And because of their laziness, they decided to throw dirt inside the graves, or the grave, there was only one, where the couple was in. They slowly asphyxiated and died. That's really just I can't think about it. Then they went to their house, wiped, cleaned their homes of valuables, because again they were lazy, and they quickly pawned everything. Then they decided to empty the bank account, but they had to do it little by little. So they rented a limo. They got some Coke, not the kind you drink. They got drinks, and they were driving from ATM to ATM partying. Eventually, one day, when they tried to take money out, the account was frozen. Carol's daughter, at this point not being able to talk to her mom, reported her mother as missing. So the police froze the accounts. But Michael, being the bright guy that he is, he just was so desperate that he called the police and said, "Hi, I'm Reggie. Everything is fine. I'm with my wife. Here, talk to her." And Tiffany posed as Carol. So now the accounts are not frozen. And I assume that the police freed those accounts because they had a plan. Most of the time, if somebody reports you missing, then you have to show proof that you are you before they do that. So again, Michael thought he was smarter than the police. So now the police started following the withdrawals, and eventually a person that was taking the money, that person was staying in a hotel near downtown Charleston. Police got a warrant, searched the hotel, and found some stolen items from the Sumners. The geniuses of Wade and Nixon were arrested, and because they were so loyal and such good friends, they decided to cut themselves a deal and testify against the other two geniuses in this operation. Enough information that shared the grave location. When it was dug up, they found the couple dead and hugging. You truly have to be evil, and I'm sorry, these people could have been addicts, but I don't give a crap. Being this lazy and suffocating this couple that helped you, that was there for you when you needed them? No ma'am. So Nixon escaped the death sentence because of this help and got 45 years. The other pieces of garbage, and by that I mean Wade, Michael, and Tiffany, they were looking at the death sentence, especially Tiffany, who got no sympathy from the jury. Thank goodness some smart people were in that jury. This couple was nothing but good to her and her father. They helped them. They opened their home to her. They trusted her. Needless to say, they found her guilty. The other two geniuses were also found guilty. It took the jury 90 minutes to sentence them to death. Now Tiffany, being the upstanding piece of garbage that she is, she swears that she didn't do it. That she didn't throw the dirt on top of the couple. That she didn't even know the plan was to kill the couple. She said that the agreement was that they were going to let them go. So if she was so upset, why go back to the house and steal this dead couple possession, showing no remorse, no anything? What happened here was retold by the different participants in this crime. It is without a doubt what happened to this couple. The timeline, the cause of death, even the hits that they got, the way that they left their house. There is no doubt, not only that they did it, but that it happened the way that Wade testified in the beginning and everyone else corroborated. You know, these are the cases that make you feel like, what is happening in this world? I mean, let's put aside what we see today in the news, but what is happening to us? How is possible? How is it even possible for somebody to do this to an older couple, a defenseless, sick, and it's just, what runs through your veins that you feel like you're entitled to what they work so hard for their entire lives, so you could use it to do drugs, get drunk, and party? Maybe you do need to go in a humbling pen. You know? It is so unbelievable and so crazy to even think that somebody in this world is able to do what they did and to feel entitled to the hard work of somebody else. You know, some people work their entire lives in hard labor, like maybe construction under the sun, or when it's raining, or when it's snowing, roofers, people that have physical jobs. We all have hard jobs in whatever we do, but I'm saying some people work their entire lives and they, in the end, sometimes they get, you know, back problems or things that are related to the hard work that they had for their entire lives. And then for this, this punks to come and think they're entitled to somebody else's money that earned it. And then do what they did. I mean, you're burying somebody alive. I always tell this story, but I'm gonna finish this case with this. And not to pat myself in the back, but to try to put into perspective what they did. We have tons of birds in our area, and for whatever reason that I do not understand, every time there's a bird that it's about to die, they come to my yard, and they usually by my front door steps. If you ever seen a bird that it's about to die, you notice that they tuck their beak into their feathers in the back, so they kind of twist their neck and tuck it in the wings area. and then eventually they die. Then I remember I tried to help two of them. And, the third one, when it came, I realized that they're just stopping in a safe spot to die because there's nothing I can do to help them. But I remember wrapping this little bird in a little rag and until I saw that he wasn't moving anymore. He wasn't breathing, he wasn't. And I thought, I'm gonna bury it, and that is that. But his heart was beating. I dig the hole. I'm gonna put him there under one of my trees. The bird, as it decomposes, it will feed my tree. And to me, it had a proper resting spot. But I couldn't. I had to wait for about between 15 to 20 minutes until his heart stopped before I buried him, because I started having all these crazy thoughts that he was going to start suffocating, and what a horrible way to die. Once his heart stopped, I waited. He was kind of all wiggly, and that's when I buried this last one. But the story is just to show you that normal people, no, let me rephrase that. Your average person does not have it in them to do something this evil to a bird, and it doesn't even cross their minds what it would be like to do it to a human. So I really don't know the kind of evil spirit you have to have in order to go through with this Machiavellic, disturbing plan. I didn't check, to be honest, after reading about this case, if they were been already put to death, or if they're still in death row, or if they passed. Honestly, to me, it's the same thing that they rot in jail or they die. Honestly, I think they're a danger to society. They are just wrong. Nobody should live in this world and have those kind of intentions. Nobody should be part of a society where you're okay to take from another person and do this to them in order to get what you want. Please share your thoughts down below. The humbling pen, it's getting louder and louder. So, I think it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for being here, guys. There will be a new for Patreon video this weekend. I'm not sure if it's going up on Saturday or Sunday. I think Sunday. But I will post a thumbnail and the theme on YouTube community page so you can see it instead of waiting for the notification. Thanks again for being there, guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. Good night.